my dear Aries. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between September 16 and September 30, 2017 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can contact me at my email in the description box below the video. So, I used the Mary L Tarot with Mary White, and I have already shuffled and chosen your cards. I will do a shorter 9-card mid-month reading for you, and I will come back with the longer 15 cards readings for the beginning of the month readings, where I also use a smaller deck of cards. For now, I have been using Legacy of Divine, but I'm on the hunt for a new deck with smaller cards. Just want to find someone that suits perfectly for this job. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds. So, okay, my dear Aries, this is your past. And here we have a Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is Aries, so this is you. Being skilled enough to be able to raise cobblings into predators, big feline cat creatures. And she also have this, I think the name is Rosetta Stone in her forehead. It's this gemstone that's in this square big building where people go and kiss it in Mecca. So I don't really know the name of the building. It didn't show up in my mind, but I have been told that this is part of the stone that were in Atlantis before it kind of blew up. And it has also had this big journey. It has been in the ownership of a big Amazonas queen, and it was stolen from her by Hercules, like one of his great deeds. I don't know if it was such a great deed. I think that it might have been the end of the feminine, the matriarchal kind of lifestyle that we can see with native people. Queen of Wands is a person that have lived many lifetimes and have a lot of experience, and she's very warm and generous both towards herself and others, and she don't tolerate people doing stupid things. Then she will tell them. She will tell them what she thinks, and she's not backing down. She's proud of herself. She's a proud being, and proud of what she's done, and she don't make excuses for existing or being the person that she is. So it's a very beautiful card. Oh, sorry. The next card here, it's the Knight of Cups. So we can see that it's kind of the same embrace that we see in both those things. So you're both taking care of like the youngster in your life or the people in need of your protection, but also you take care of your heart, and you're able to show your heart here. That might be a little bit difficult for sometimes for people that's protective like this, but here we can see her more beautiful open side where she actually exposed her heart. And show what's in there. So Knight of Cups is usually associated with Pisces, but might be any kind of water sign. But I think this is you. It's a little bit peculiar detail in these cards. It's feet here in the wings. When I did the reading for some other sign here recently, I noticed those feet, and it's almost like the hen that lies on the chicken, and we can see much the same kind of depiction here. So it's something that you protect, something that you don't show. It's not really ready. It's like it's not ready to be exposed, and it might be the vulnerability of your heart. You're starting to shape it. You're starting to be brave enough to be able to show what's in there and what you really want, because it might be that you have thoughts of things being too late, or it's no idea, or there's things going on that has prevented you from really showing or exposing your heart, but you still want to do so. But it's not ready. Not here. In the past anyway, it wasn't ready. It was like laying on something for a little while longer. When it's going to come out, it's going to be marvelous, but it needs some time, some nesting still. next card here is Five of Discs. So this is so beautiful. It's about your heart. It's things that's inside of you still. Five of Discs is traditionally a card about feeling left out in the cold, not feeling loved for the person that you are. It's like you are useless or worthless in the eyes of society or other people or your love partner or at your work. So this might be something that you fear, that if you would expose your true self, you will find that you were kind of an outlaw, like an alien, like not feeling left out in the cold. So you have avoided this. You didn't want those most vulnerable parts of you to first be exposed and then be told that they weren't good enough. So you have never really showed them. They have been covered here with a lot of hair on this person. And it's not hair really, it's snakes actually change. And it's the snake here is spitting its own tail. So it's some kind of, this has had been up for discussion before, it's some kind of karma with you. But we can see on his smile on his face that he's rather content what he has found there inside his heart. It's a treasure, and I think that you know this. It's just that you don't know how it will be received by people around you to show your vulnerability. As soon as you do, it seems like people are shying away. But it might not be you that's the problem. It might be that people have a problem with authenticity, like people being too authentic. It scares them because they can't be authentic themselves. But it's like soon people will be ready for this, to be authentic and to see authentic things in others and not shy away, not be afraid, not run. So we are approaching those days here, and we can see on his face that it's going to be marvelous days. And it's like a beautiful landscape here, like a landscape made of dreams, something that where you can be happy, a place where you can find happiness. It's a tree there as well, and water. Tree is things. Trees are usually very old creatures. You can see a tree here as well. They have a lot of our memories. They have seen generations of human beings come and go. An oak tree can be like 600 years old. So it's a entity of dignity, and it's a symbol for our cellular memories, our ancestral karma, you can say, what has been left to us from our parents and their generation back. And sometimes it's marvelous things and skills, and sometimes it's things that they couldn't solve in their lifetime. So I think we are about touching a little bit of that, what has been going on in your childhood, and why this has been going on because of some kind of ancestral karma or things unsolved in your family structure. So that was in the past, and here we have the now, and we have an 8 of discs. It comes upside down. It came also for Aquarius, but it came in this position. So I think you have been enough with being a sacrificial lamb in some situations, like you always being the one solving all problems and finding all solutions and being positive and having this cheerful attitude and fixing things. And well, it might be that those days are gone. You are not going to be everything for everybody anymore. You are kind of acknowledging other things with you, like maybe this lamb here. And maybe you don't want to be sacrificed anymore. I think you are fire, so you're more this Leo kind of energy. But we are about talking about this, what the hen is kind of sheltering underneath its wings. And it shows that the hen is not a hen, it's more like a lion. And it's like this. In Tot Tarot, that's a beautiful deck. You can learn a lot from, especially the book that comes with it, about tarot. But it calls like, I'll try to find the word in English because I have this in the Swedish saying, but it's like taking care of. It's not ready. It's like thoughtfulness, maybe it's said. Thoughtfulness, not, it's a tree that has blossoms, but it doesn't have fruits just yet. So you're not ready to give off whatever is right here. So you are this fiery hen nesting on this little sacrifice calf. And what I said to Aquarius is that it reminds me also of this tune because I hear it in my head right now. It's Uma Thurman. Um, the blood of a lamb is worth 2 lions, but here I am. So we have, it's like this. So you can check this out. Maybe the song, the text of the song might tell you something. There's 2 versions of this text. One I don't like, the other one I like a lot. So 8 of discs, and it came upside down. You're finished with something. 8 is like this eternity symbol, something that work that has been going on for quite some time. And here you have the 8 of wands. So it's still a lion on this, and it's like your inner child. You're coming with it. This fragile thing is the same gesture again. This vulnerable thing, you hold it out to the public, or to the, at least to the one that's close to you, that you can be vulnerable with, and you start to show like this is what is. And it might be that your entity here is a little bit hurt. Maybe you need the comfort of others. Maybe you don't need to be strong for them anymore, and maybe you need them to take care of you when you have a nervous breakdown, or you don't have the stamina to go through something you're on your own. So 8 of wands is truth being exposed, your vulnerability being exposed, you being hurt, maybe being exposed. And it's not a bad thing, this, with you have being hurt. We all get hurt. We are in a kind of a rigged situation where we can't get through life without being hurt. So we all have our wounds, but they are also kind of our crown. When we go out in life, we do a lot of mistakes. We get hurt, we get burned, we get tainted. When we come back with a lot of experience, and that experience is our crown. This is why we are here, to make those experiences. So if you're hurt, if you're wounded, that's all right. That shows that you have put yourself out there, and you have done this thing. You have exposed yourself to those experiences that you needed. It's 8 here, so it's like a karmic situation, things that you needed to learn, maybe over and over again. And it's also connected to this, the Lions Gate that happened in August, where we got the latest download for our new mission from our friend in the galaxy, the Sirius star system. So you have 8 here, 8, and it's lion. So I guess we're talking about the Lions Gate. And it seems like you're going through this now, or getting aware of the treasures that were made during this period of time in August. Maybe you are seeing it now. Well, look at this. This is me, and I'm wounded, and I need people. I think I need people to support me. I can't be this supportive system anymore. And here we see the gate. 2 of wands. 2 of wands is self-control. I think you have been giving too much of yourself to others, and now you need some self-control to not do it. It's almost like an addiction, that you can't help yourself. Now you're there again. You're doing this thing again. Now you hurt yourself again. Now you put yourself through this again, and you just couldn't help yourself. Now you need to help yourself. You need to say no. You need to have self-control. Just because it feels good doesn't mean it's good. It might just be you rolling around in the mud in your wound, making it even worse. So if it feels good, but it's not making you happy, that might be a clue. It's an addiction. It's not a solution. So you need to do something else this time. We can see a lot of figurines in this. So I think it's like, it's not your own burden, this. You might feel like, oh, hopeless me, now I did this again. I fell in this trap again. I did this stupid thing again, and I would have known better. But here's kind of your ancestors, different faces of your ancestors. I don't know if you can see them, saying to you, well, you're not the only one to blame. We couldn't make it either. And we passed it on to you, and it's up to you to solve it now, okay? You have gotten the... it's like a big window in time where those wounds, those old karma can be just swooped away. You don't have to carry this load of your ancestors anymore. They are here to help you to clear this out, and they are also responsible. They take full responsibility, but you also need to take full responsibility. Don't do things that you know is your addiction. That's your thing where you're always like doing something that you know is bad for you, but it feels good, or in some way it's like coming home. It's very homey feeling to this, because it's your family trait, it's your trademark, it's your so they have been hurt like you. You can see this, and they are ashamed like you for this. But you are the one, kind of the chosen one to see this, that you are perfectly alright in the way that you are, and you can honor yourself better by having a little ounce of self-control, not putting you through the same nightmare again, not hurting you one more lap when you know better. It's like you have learned this over and over again, thousands of times, and still you are pulled back there into this hole. It's like you're bicycling one day down the road, and you know that there's it's a hole in the road. It has been there for eons, and no one have fixed it. So and you know that it's there, and you know that you are not going to drive down in that hole again, because you know exactly where it is, and you give it all your attention. There it is, and then boom, down you are, go in the hole. So this time you'll fix the hole, and it won't be there anymore for you. So you're healing yourself. This is why you're coming, carrying yourself. This is your heart, your wounded heart, your traumatized small pieces of yourself that has been sacrificed over and over again and trampled on. Not by people that's mean. They didn't do this because they're mean. Some did because they are mean. Because usually it's unconsciousness. They didn't know better. So now you need to know better. You need to know better for the other person that doesn't know better. Give yourself justice. Give yourself a better outcome. Decisions determine destiny. You need to decide what it is that you want, what's making you happy. And addiction might feel like it's triggering something within you that makes you happy, but if there's a hangover, that's not happiness. That's something else. Relationships, for example, they should catch you when you fall. They shouldn't just let you lie crying on the floor and not doing anything about it. Then that's not love. Okay? And it's the same with work situations. If people are not appreciating you enough, and you feel this in the air, you're not appreciated enough, then you're at the wrong place. You need to change location, need to change scenery, need to change the situation, because it's not for you. And you need to have like courage, stamina, and self-control enough to do it. Fix the hole. And this is your future. And here we have a beautiful Queen of Cups. So it's like your fragile heart has a shell, but it also have pearls. So this is all this innocence that we see here in all those cards. And now it's kind of healed. In the future it will be healed, and you will find a pearl within you. Because when you find yourself, you can't do anything but to love yourself, because you're perfect the way you are. And when you start to love everything about you and just align with yourself and just trust yourself and open up for yourself, you will find those pearls. And this is kind of the essence of you, what your gift to the world is. What I've said to some of the other readings. If you're a rose, you're supposed to be a rose. So smell good like a rose, look good like a rose. You're not supposed to be like a truck driver. So you need to find what comes natural for you. What's your gift to the world? And it doesn't have to be like what everyone else's gift is. It's like trying to fit a round shape into a square hole, or make an elephant climb a tree, or whatever. It's not suitable. It's not natural. And nature is marvelous. It's so intelligent. It's so beautiful. It's so abundant. So if you can become like nature, well, then you have really accomplished something. So you see water is in her hair. She's almost like it's like a butterfly, and it's an orchid. It's very beautiful. It's connected to the waters and your deep roots, and in the same time it's your beautiful exploration, like you are flowering here. And so we have a Queen of Wands and an Eight of Discs and a Queen of Cups. So it might be that you have someone in the outside world that you're mirroring yourself within, someone with an open heart, and you might think that they are over dramatic, they are too much emotions, too much this and this. So this is your shadow. This is the thing that you need to cultivate, becoming a little bit more close to your emotions. When you like kind of dislike something in another person, it's usually the thing that's within you, that's your pearl, that's your shadow that hasn't been able to bloom because you judge it, you judge these parts of you, and that's why they were thrown in the shadow in the first place. So go in there and catch you out this beautiful, beautiful creature. So a lot of water persons, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. So you might be involved with a water sign. It might be some difficulties there with a balance between you two, giving enough, you giving enough or they giving enough balance, and also to show vulnerability and to expose your true self instead of something here saying to me that you might not be talking truthfully anyway about things, that you really need to open up. If there's going to be love, there needs to be connection you are creating by showing your true self and exposing your true self. Sometimes you shouldn't, if the person isn't right for you, if you know that they won't, if you can't trust them. But if you can't trust them, either you have big trust issues or they aren't trustworthy. So if you have big trust issues, you need to do the same thing. Go into your shadow, fetch these things, because when you start to love yourself, whatever another person do, it's not so relevant anymore. It's about them. It's their thing, like their drama, and you will be like, well, I don't want that particular behavior in my life, but you're welcome if you can behave like this and this, and you won't share the drama. So whatever a person do, so trust issues won't be a thing when you have found yourself and loved yourself and integrated your shadow, because you won't have those kind of issues anymore. The hole is gone. It's healed. Okay. Next card for you is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is pregnant, so it much goes with the earlier theme of having something fragile, being born into this world. The High Priestess together with the Queen of Cups is like amazing perceptive, like being so in tune with the divine and the universe and what other people feels and thinks. And so it's like you're almost all-knowing, or you encounter someone that's almost all-knowing. It's very much like your open heart carries a message. The High Priestess is very much in her self-respect, and she listens to all her instincts and intuition. So one day she will hate you, next day she will love you, and she is like a wisdom well. She will give you the correct feedback, much like when you train a dog. When you train a dog, you want to know them to know exactly when they are doing the right thing and when they are doing the wrong thing, like no or yes, good boy. So that's the thing with the High Priestess. She's very good with training dogs. She will give them the exact right feedback in the exact right time. So it might be that you need to be a teacher to others, or to really show yourself in all your glory, and trust yourself. And if you say the wrong words, you can say you're sorry. And it's something with the two here. Two of wands, the High Priestess. It's like a gateway here. It's like a fence almost. Maybe you're not ready to share your secret with everybody. It's still this with like feeling a little bit like you are not trusting. And what does that come from? You need to search deep within you what it is that you need to show yourself off as this person that's indestructible and no one can get to you and you're never hurt. What is that? So if you show that you're hurt, will they kill you off? It's almost like being in a concentration camp. I don't know if this is the right name in English, but it's like being in a refugee camp. And if you show weakness, people will think like, well, that person is sick. We need to take them out for destruction so they don't give cholera to the rest of the population. So it's this kind of feeling that you're not showing things because you are afraid of the consequences. It's a secret. And here you have a 9 of discs. So 9 of discs is like you being able to be on your own and nourishing yourself and loving yourself. This is your foundation. We are not supposed to live alone and nourish ourselves and, give ourselves, fill our own needs. But for a while you might need to do so. So you will know that you're surviving on your own. And then if you go into a situation where people are not really acting in a way that's supportive for you, you know that you can always retreat to this point where you were alone and doing fine. So it's much easier for you to sacrifice situation that's not good for you when you know that you have this strength. And it doesn't have to be a fake strength then. It's like you don't want this situation forever and ever to be a singles person and to just nurture yourself, but you know that you have the possibility that you will survive. It's like this song, I will survive. I'm not that little person that's still in love with you. So healing yourself, it's the black and the white, becoming like, step into your own shadow. Try to not be so scared of what's inside there. Maybe you will feel like it's something really bad, but it's probably not. What can be so bad? Even if it's really, really bad, it's still something that you will be able to pull through because you love yourself and you accept yourself and you nurture yourself. We have this, the Caligula staff here. It's a symbol of Enki. It was a god of the ancient Mesopotamian kingdom that were dealing a lot with DNA and fixing like demons and things to fly over the earth and collect stuff and other things. So also he was said to create the human race, and he was also the snake in the paradise. So we have a lot of trees here and a little bit snakes in the paradise. It's this gateway that scares you so much. Maybe you're afraid of your shadow because you think that it's going to make you being like a person that's unforgivable, or a person that's like have done some kind of sin. I say to you, sin is not real. You are here to do sins. You are here to do mistakes and learn from them. And maybe first, for example, being a real fat racist in one life, and then the next life you will be a refugee, and you will be like a minority, and you will know what it is, and then you will have had the experience from both sides. So it doesn't matter if you have been like terrible things in your past lives, because this is experience. You couldn't have, if you don't had this experience, you wouldn't know all those things you knew today. So we have all been bad people in our previous lifetimes, and this was how we learned to become good people. We were seeing the consequences of our own actions through direct experience. So don't judge yourself so hard. There's nothing that has been underneath the face of the sun that has not been seen before. So just dig deep, find out what it is, even if it's a big chunk of something that you're really ashamed of. It's okay. It's still okay. And this entity that you are so ashamed of, it still have good qualities. Okay. So it still have this. To be a racist is to be judgmental and maybe protective. You want to protect yours against people that's foreign, or it's like this caveman personality. Standing in front of the cave and seeing like another bunch of people approaching, you need to be on your guard. That's good to be judgmental, be on your guard until you see that, oh, this person was all right. Okay, pat them on the back and be friends with them. So it's some use to this, being a racist, even if it's just for a split second. And then when you know better, and you do something else, but you still need to be able to have judgmental skills. So that's a good thing with this. Okay, 9 of discs means it's a hermit. It's the feminine part of the hermit, where you're alone and you're nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself. And the high priestess is she's also rather lonely. She doesn't let whomever into her kingdom or his kingdom. So because this can be a him as well. So it's like, let your lover pass the test. Let your workplace pass the test. Don't just take anything because it's given to you. View given horse in the mouth. Check out. Maybe it's like 100 years old, and it would just cost you a lot of feeding. You really need to, I think you need to have a gate which people can pass or not, depending on what you decide. You are too judgmental towards yourself, And maybe that's why you're not... you might judge others very harshly in certain situations, but those people that you should really judge, like authority figures that not acting well, or lovers that not acting well, you should really really view those people deep. But those people you might be a little bit blindfolded and just like, well, oh, these are nice. And so you might be very strict with people that you know and you're sure of and you trust. But those people where you should really be like a little bit on the edge, there's like you're caving a little bit. Okay, don't do that. Here you have a beautiful card from Oracle of Vision by Ciro Marchetti. And it's like you need all the pieces of the puzzles to build a picture of yourself, to know who you are. Self-knowing is self-loving. You can't find yourself without finding out that you love yourself. And this cat is showing this self-sufficientness, that you need to do this part of the journey a little bit alone, not to say that you don't need people. There's a lot of bridges here, bridges you are doing to connect with people. So you're ready for this connection, but first and foremost, the biggest issue is to find yourself and to take care of yourself, find out what's missing and make yourself whole. It's also a lot with needs. Like Nine of Discs is a person that fulfills their needs, even if they have to do it alone. So it's not this kind of hermit that starves themselves to death. That's more Nine of Swords, Nine of Wands kind of thing. The feminine kind of a hermit, they are more like nourishing themselves and being abundant. Nature can't help but being abundant. This is self-love, taking care of yourself. Pieces will come, maybe in dreams. And it's also maybe, this is a sorting game, like a numbers game. What person, what situation, what work kind of situation will fit into your life? Not where can you fit in? What will fit in with you? What will make you happy? What will make you feeling safe and sound and loved and all those things? You're seeing it from the wrong side, like... how can you whip yourself to do something that's great enough for you to be loved, when you should more find out what's natural for you to do, and then you will be loved automatically, because when you love yourself, you're very attractive. Okay, so also from Druid Craft Tarot by Will Worthington. Okay, so it's this card. It's the World card, very beautifully, and you have the lady as well. So the lady and yes, we have a lot of, it's a long story here. I can show you this a little bit so you'll see. It's two kings and a demon. Nunos is with the lovers here. So it's two kings, earth and air. So kings are very grown-up situation. So I think you are going to stand with something that will have like great opposition, something that's equally strong as you. And this is a challenge that's going to make you see what you are made of. And what you're made of is your natural self. So try to be natural. That's your weapon in this fight of giants. And this is the shadow, the darkness that you need to find out more about. Like, why do you think that you're not worthy of loving? That's the big clue. And maybe the big thing is to accept that you are worth loving exactly as you are, that you don't have to do anything to improve yourself. Underneath there, we actually had the Hermit as well. 9. So become your natural self, and you will fulfill what was really your destiny here up on earth. Because when you are having your natural expression, it's like if God was trying to plant this rose and then he got like a truck driver, don't you think that he or she might be a little bit disappointed then? So if you find your natural self and start to express that, maybe you will really then fulfill your actual destiny. Okay. So my dear Aries, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care of yourself, and I wish to meet you again for the beginning of the October reading. That will be a 15 card spread. Okay, and also if you want a personal reading with me, you can contact me at my email in the description box below the video. Okay, take good care and bye bye.